Nick and Matthew, and I'm sorry if I've dragged you away from your rehearsal because you're just about to open in Remembrance Monday in London this week. Now, without giving it all away, because I know you're not meant to, can you tell me in your own words what it's about?
Remembrance Monday is it's a psychological thriller, and it's a love story about two people fighting for each other. And I think for me personally, it's about identity and our sense of self, and how we sort of derive that sense of self from the relationships that we have, and sort of what happens when that starts to crumble away.
Matthew, I heard it's a bit of a heartbreaker. Does that mean heartbreaker for you or for us, the audience?
For everybody involved. It's a roller coaster of emotions. You've got the wonderful, joyous moments of a relationship, but you've also got the complications, the jealousy, the doubting yourself, and then it goes straight back into this wonderful love and humour. These two guys are completely besotted with each other, and if anyone's been lucky enough to feel like that, it's not sickening to watch, it's beautiful to watch. And it's a wonderful emotion and feeling to play, especially opposite Nick. We've only known each other a few weeks, and yet we're very close because the play is it's very, very intimate. There's there's a lot of chemistry needed for these two guys because, like I said, they are completely in love with each other.
So when our reviewer comes to see the play this week, I tell them to bring a small box or a big box of tissues.
You're going to need a very large box of tissues.
But it depends what we're doing.
I need a large box of tissues, but unfortunately I can't access that from the stage. So
you've got towels.
Yeah.
What attracted you both to playing this role?
The writing, I think Michael Batten's writing, also the fact that Alan Souza is directing. And I mean, you know, when do you get the opportunity to do a two-hander in the centre of London? Especially as actors that, you know, although we've been working for 20 years, we don't have huge profile. We've just been sort of consistently working as supporting roles, sometimes leads, but mainly in theatre. So the opportunity, I think, to do this material and this amount of material in the centre of London and, you know, attempt to do it justice is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I concur. I mean, the challenge of the role, the piece, and speaking to Alan, the director, about his vision, he was so detailed and passionate and enthusiastic about how he wanted it to be presented as a real truthful snapshot of these people. I mean, I know we should be playing a play for real, but this is it honestly feels like you are kind of looking into a couple's life, and when you read it on the page, you can just feel that. You can sense the highs and the lows, and also the comedy as well.
So guys, it's a very intimate piece in a very intimate space. How do you cope with that?
It's definitely been a challenge because it's more like every movement has to be, even if it's a very small movement, it has to be sort of emotionally motivated. You can't just sort of get away with just moving stage right, you know what I mean? So that's been a challenge, and the fact that it's in a round. I'm sort of used to doing work with a pros, so you know where your audience is and you know which way to play. But with this, Alan's sort of obstacle and task, and what I think he's achieved very well, is giving the whole play this sense of constant movement. So we're always on the move, and trying to sort of work that movement into the dialogue.
It's like, it feels like we're in a goldfish bowl and there's no escape, certainly for this one. And that's also a wonderful challenge because you don't often get to do 75 minutes straight out with an audience on all four sides.
So this new thing that's developed in the past few years, an intimacy coordinator. Do you have to have one in this place?
Well, we have our lodge has sort of worked really closely with us on like developing the sort of intimate moments as has Alan, just so that we feel super safe in knowing exactly what emotional beat comes next.
Yeah.
And then the physical logistics of like, where does my hand go? Where does, you know what I mean? It's kind of like you have to learn it almost mathematically. And then once you know that and you're comfortable with each other, then you can start to layer the emotion on top. So yeah, it's always felt really safe.
It has.
It's felt really comfortable.
I think the most important, because when you read the script, you know what's coming. So it's not like it was a surprise that we would be topless and touching and kissing like lovers do. But it's obviously imperative that you get on with the person you're playing opposite. And I think when we met for the photo shoot and the teaser trailer filming, we had like an instant chemistry because we didn't meet at the castings. So it was kind of, you do feel lucky that we trust each other and we can say, actually, I don't want to go too far today, or I'm going to be careful because I've got a bad shoulder, or you just got to communicate. It's very, you can feel quite vulnerable when you're walking around with very little clothes on.
Both of you have acted in all mediums, on stage, TV and film. What's your preference?
I saw the musical, The Buddy Holly Story in '93, and I was 10, so you can work out my age. And my nana took me to see it on a Friday night after school, and I just sat there, and within the first 2 minutes, I said to, excuse me, I turned to my nana and I said, I want to do that when I'm older. So I think theatre for me has always been in me, and that's what, when you see the audience in front of you, you're like, this is brilliant.
I find that I have more agency in theatre because you know the shot. The shot is the stage, right? So you can kind of control what's happening within the shot and what the audience see. Whereas I think in film, you have to sort of surrender and hand yourself over to the DOP and the director and the editing room, and whatever's going to come out is going to come out. But theatre feels slightly more in, my performance feels slightly more in my hands, so I feel more in control of it.
So you've got a set run here in London. Do you know if there's a journey for the play afterwards?
I think Michael's writing deserves a platform. I do think it's a challenging piece. You know, it's not. It's not a. You're not watching a narrative that sort of follows a through line. You're watching sort of without giving too much away. Sort of a series of fractured memories where sort of information is sort of drip fed to the audience. So I think it's a challenging piece, but a really exciting one.
And deserves to be seen elsewhere. I definitely think it deserves to be seen across the UK.
So do you two know what you're doing next, or you just hang on and see what happens to the play?
Yeah, hold on and see what happens. I've got I've just shot a short film, so that will be released probably towards the end of our run, and we'll do the rounds of the festivals and then likely have a release on a streamer. So that's quite a nice thing about film as well, is that you do the thing and then you forget about it, and then all of a sudden it comes up. So yeah, but beyond that, back to castings, I suppose. See what happens.
Well, thank you for talking to me. I said our reviewers coming in this week. I hope wish you every success for the play. It sounds.
Thank you.
Okay, take care now.
All the best,
Roger.
Thank you.